If your anxiety is not only from your current situation, but also from attempting to control a future that you cannot. Many people are mentally and emotionally tired, not just because life is hard, but because they try to predict everything. They try to control every outcome. They try to understand everything, and they try to guarantee results before moving forward. But, a big but, faith works differently. It does not require you to see the end before you start. This is why some people feel stuck. They wait for certainty while God asks them for trust. I want you to stay with me, because by the end of this message, you will view faith, anxiety, and control very, very differently. I will also share why one man kept believing in its vision even after rejection and failure. Your anxiety often stems from the gap between what you can see right now and what you truly want to happen. You seek clarity, you seek guarantees, and you seek certainty about the future. Yet God often asks people to move forward without knowing the outcome. This is one of the hardest parts of having faith. As humans, we want control. We want to know how things will turn out. We want to know when they will happen. We want to know what will the future look like. But I will show you how some of the greatest people in the Bible had to trust God without first seeing the outcome. In the book of Genesis chapter 12, God tells Abraham to leave his country, to leave his kindred, and leave his father's household, and go to a new place that he will later show him. This is a very important moment because God does not give Abraham a roadmap. Instead, he asked Abraham to act without knowing where he was going. Many people today face similar situations. They often want full clarity before taking any action. They often want complete confidence before following orders. They completely want certainty before trusting something or someone. However, faith in the Bible works differently. Real faith often means moving forward, even when you still have questions. It involves taking steps without having all the answers. And in this way, faith becomes an active journey, with trust growing as you keep moving, despite the unknowns ahead. Let's just talk about a man called Jack Ma. Before Jack Ma, a Chinese businessman and philanthropist, became the founder of Alibaba Group, he faced a series of setbacks that would have discouraged most people. His journey began after a series of job rejections. He faced repeated disappointment despite all his efforts to secure positions. He even applied to multiple universities, but was turned down each and every time, compounding his feeling of inadequacy. In a particular notable instance, he, along with hundreds of other hopeful candidates, applied for a job at KFC. While most applicants received offers, he was among the very few who were rejected. Can you just imagine the feeling of disappointment, the feeling of discouragement, the feeling of frustration he must have felt in that moment, watching others achieve what seemed just out of his reach? Many people in his situation or his position might have internalized this rejection, allowing it to shape their self-image. They might even have thought, maybe I am not capable, or perhaps this dream is not just for me. These thoughts can easily lead you to believe that your goals are impossible to reach. However, Jack Ma chose a different path. Rather than allowing the rejection to define his future, he embraced the challenges that he faced. He committed himself to continual learning. He committed to adapting his strategies in response to his setbacks. And he was very persistently pushing forward despite the obstacles. And over time, through resilience, through his determination, he transformed his vision into reality. Ultimately, he built Alibaba Group, which grew into one of the world's largest and most influential e-commerce companies. His story serves as a powerful reminder that perseverance in the face of rejection can lead to extraordinary success. This is important because many people believe that if they cannot see the future clearly, they cannot take action. Yet, growth often requires trusting the process even when the outcome is uncertain. Sometimes the very things that we try to control are the very things God wants us to let go of. Surrendering them can lead to new opportunities and insights into our journey ahead. In the book of Genesis chapter 6, God told a man named Noah to build a large boat called an ark. This command must have sounded very, very strange to Noah because at that time, it had not even rained before. They were not near a river or even near the sea. People around Noah saw no signs of a flood coming or any danger of water. So they probably found it hard to believe this command. However, Noah began building the ark, working on it day after day each day for 120 years. He cut wood, hammered nails, and shaped pieces for the boat. And over time, he faced doubt and ridicule from his neighbors. They likely laughed at him, questioning why he was building such a big boat when no flood was in sight. Despite the doubt and the criticism, Noah kept his faith in God. He believed God's warning, even though no one else did. Trusting in what he could not see was very difficult, but Noah stayed committed to his task. His story showed how hard it can be to have faith when others do not understand. Continue to obey God when the full picture is not yet clear. Many people give up far too soon because they do not see results immediately or even straight away. However, trust often grows as you work to build something. And right now, you may feel that God is encouraging you to keep working on your faith, to keep working on your discipline, to keep working on your purpose, to keep working on your personal growth, even if things do not yet make any sense. Faith is not just about trusting God when we see everything clearly. Sometimes faith means moving forward, even when we do not yet have all the answers. Many people are mentally exhausted because they carry too much on their minds. They worry about problems that could arise tomorrow. They worry about uncertain outcomes and circumstances. They worry about unanswered questions and situations that they cannot control. This mental burden can leave them drained. But the Bible offers helpful advice in the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. This verse reminds us that God does not ask us to understand everything before we can find peace. Instead, he asks us to trust in him. Trusting can be hard because it means letting go of your need to control everything. This surrender may feel very daunting to some people. However, by trusting God, we can find the strength and the clarity to handle life challenges more effectively. Trust can lead to greater peace of mind and emotional resilience. In the book of Esther, there was a young woman named Esther, and she finds herself in a very unexpected role in the royal court of Persia. She faces a serious challenge and fails responsibilities. At one point, she must make a very tough choice or decision that could put her life and the people's life in danger. Esther experiences fear. She is concerned about the uncertain outcome of her decision. However, her cousin Mordecai shares a very important insight or thought with her. Who knows whether you have come to this kingdom for such a time as this? Her was queen of that kingdom. This message encouraged her to reflect deeply on her position. Sometimes we may not understand why we are in certain situations. However, it is possible that God prepared and places people in specific roles long before they know the reasons. And many people feel anxious because they cannot see the whole picture of their lives. Yet God often has plans, God often has purpose that are much greater than our own mind or our own imagination. In times of doubt, we are reminded to trust in that bigger picture, that bigger plan of God. Esther did not control her entire story. However, she trusted God and moved forward with courage anyway. This shows that we can act bravely even when we are unsure. Right now, God may be working in ways that you do not fully understand. Just because you face uncertainty, it does not mean that God is absent. You do not need to understand every detail of your future to trust in God. His plan for your life is far bigger, far greater, far magnificent than you can see right now. And it is okay to feel unsure about what lies ahead. Remember that God has a special purpose for each and every one of us, even if you cannot see it yet. Here are some practical steps to deepen your trust in God. Step number 1, stop trying to control every outcome. You cannot see every possible outcome or event that may happen in the future. Life is full of surprises and uncertainties. Number 2, focus on today's step. Faith grows slowly, one small step at a time. As we go through different experiences in life, with every step that we take, our faith becomes stronger. Our faith becomes deeper. Step number 3, pray honestly about your anxiety. God knows your fears. Be honest with Him about what you are feeling and share your worries openly. He will listen to you and care for you. Step number 4, I want you to remember previous faithfulness. Thinking back to times when God helped you can really boost your faith right now. Remembering those moments of support, those moments of guidance can help you to feel more confident and trust that you can handle whatever you are facing today. It is a reminder that you are not alone and that you can find strength in your current challenges. Step number 5, move forward even without full clarity. You do not need to know everything about God's plan to your life to follow Him. Sometimes taking small steps of faith is enough. Trust that you are doing the right thing, even if you do not have all the details. Many people feel emotionally drained after years of trying to control every aspect of their life. They try to predict outcomes. They try to avoid pain, and they try to guarantee the future. And over time, anxiety has replaced their peace. You might worry about what could go wrong, asking questions as, but what if I fail? What if nothing ever changes in my life? What if I make a bad choice? And these fears can feel overwhelming. However, faith does not require having all the answers before you act. It encourages you to move forward even when you are uncertain about what will happen next. Trust the process. Know that both success and setbacks offer important lessons along the way. Throughout the Bible, God guides people through uncertain times. For example, Abraham followed God's call to leave his home without knowing what the future held. Peter stepped out into the water during a storm, trusting Jesus even when he was afraid. Joseph remained loyal to God while facing betrayal and even imprisonment, believing that God had a purpose for his struggles and his life. Maybe today, God is inviting you to put down the burdens you carry. These are the worries and stresses that only He can handle. I want you to consider trusting Him, finding peace in letting go of what weighs you down. You do not need to know every detail of your future. You should trust in the one who has control over it. God's plan does not need you to control it. It needs you to cooperate. It needs you to be obedient. It needs you to follow his plan. After this video ends, take a moment to reflect on one area of your life where anxiety and the need for control have become too much. Once you identify this area, take time to surrender it to God in prayer. Share your worries and let them go. Stop worrying over details. Stop overthinking everything. Stop carrying tomorrow's weight on your own today. Trust God as you keep moving forward. And I want you to remember that God sees every part of your life you may not understand yet. Trust in him and keep going. Keep praying. Keep moving forward, even when things feel uncertain. God is still writing your story, and there is a purpose for every season that you go through. Please share your thoughts in the comment below. In what area of your life do you need to trust God more right now? Is it your job? Is it in your relationship? Is it your health? Or is it a personal challenge? Reflecting on this can help you grow and find strength. Please, if this message has encouraged you, subscribe to Spiritual Keys to Success. You will receive helpful teaching to overcome fear, helpful teaching to overcome anxiety, helpful teaching to overcome doubt and procrastination. Let us work together to trust God. Check out the God Sees Your Potential, even when you do not. Complete 3-part playlist for more Christian motivation and encouragement. May God's love, peace, and favor, may it overflow in your life like never before. You are more blessed than you realize. It is your time. Let's